The sands of the arena ran red with blood. Shackled men fought to amuse the citizens of Rome, but one man refused to die as entertainment. His name was Spartacus, and soon he would lead the greatest slave revolt in Roman history. This is the story of the war that shook Rome from within.
Spartacus was a Thracian warrior captured and enslaved by Rome. Trained as a gladiator, he fought for survival in the arenas of Capua. But in 73 BCE, he and 70 comrades broke their chains, seizing kitchen knives and gladiatorial weapons to carve their way to freedom. From this spark, a fire ignited. Tens of thousands of slaves and gladiators soon gathered under his banner. Rome now faced not an enemy beyond its borders, but a rebellion rising from within. At first, Rome scoffed at the revolt. They sent a token force, expecting to scatter peasants and runaway slaves. But Spartacus struck with speed and surprise. On the slopes of Vesuvius, his men climbed down with ropes woven from vines, storming the Roman camp from above. Legionaries panicked as men armed with farm tools and gladiator swords cut them down. When the smoke cleared, the slaves stood victorious, now armed with Roman weapons and armor. They were no longer a rabble. They were an army. The Senate was stunned. Spartacus had defeated Rome's finest soldiers in open battle. Word spread like wildfire. From villas and mines, enslaved men and women fled to join Spartacus. The ranks swelled. Farmers, herdsmen, miners, gladiators, all now soldiers. At its height, the rebel army numbered nearly 70,000. Spartacus drilled them with gladiatorial discipline, teaching them to fight in formation, to wield captured shields and spears. They were not legions, not yet, but their spirit, their numbers, and their hunger for freedom gave them strength Rome could no longer ignore. Alarms spread through Rome. Praetors were sent with full legions to crush the rebellion. But arrogance doomed them. Again and again, Roman commanders underestimated Spartacus. At Mount Garganus, his men stormed downhill, shattering the Roman lines. At Lucania, they encircled a legion and cut it to pieces. In battle after battle, the rebels struck with ambush, terrain, and sheer fury, moving like wildfire, striking where Rome least expected. The revolt was no longer a nuisance. It was a crisis. Spartacus dreamed of freedom beyond Italy. He would lead his people north, across the Alps, away from Rome's reach. His army marched, defeating every legion that dared to block their path. But unity fractured. Many of his followers hungered for plunder, not escape. They lingered in the rich Italian countryside, looting villas and estates. Greed and disunity slowed the march. Rome was given what it needed most: time to recover. As Spartacus's army stalled, Rome found its chance. From the Senate came a name that would change the war: Marcus Licinius Crassus. Unlike the generals before him, Crassus was ruthless, cold, and disciplined. To restore order, he revived an ancient terror: decimation. Every 10th man in cowardly units was executed, a warning written in blood. Under his iron hand, the legions hardened once more. Rome had found its answer. Now, it would fight Spartacus and his army with everything it had. The final year of the war was a storm of battles. Spartacus led his men south, hoping to cross into Sicily. Crassus pursued relentlessly, driving the rebels into Calabria. In skirmishes, the slaves still struck hard, ambushing patrols, breaking through lines. But the legions held steady. Walls of shields met waves of desperate rebels. Sword against sword, spear against axe, the fields of southern Italy became a slaughterhouse. At last, the stage was set for the final battle. In 71 BCE, the decisive battle came. Spartacus gathered his army for one final push. Ancient writers tell that he rode to the front, slew his own horse, and declared, "If I win, I shall have plenty of horses. If I lose, I shall need none." With that, he charged straight into the Roman lines, cutting down centurions and legionaries, fighting his way toward Crassus himself. Surrounded, wounded, Spartacus fought to the last. But he never fled. His body was never found, lost among the thousands of fallen slaves who chose death over chains. And Rome's revenge was merciless. 6,000 captured rebels were crucified along the Appian Way, their bodies stretching for miles. A road of death, a warning carved into the heart of Italy. The revolt was crushed, but the scars remained. For generations, the fear of another Spartacus haunted Rome. From the sands of the arena to the fields of Italy, Spartacus shook the empire to its core. His war revealed that Rome's power was never unbreakable, fragile when struck from within. He fought not for conquest, not for wealth, but for freedom. And though he fell, his name endures as the gladiator who dared defy Rome. Next time, Rome will face not slaves or rebels, but a foreign genius, Hannibal of Carthage, at the Battle of Cannae. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, and click on notification to wait for the next part.